my art, it's recycled lumber, and it's also recycled copper wire. The plant material I preserve, and so it keeps its color. And some of the glass is recycled, and then the rest of it I just kind of put together. It's me. It's something I don't know, I just love it. It's sort of like that Vistaprint commercial. It's a happy thing.
What you're seeing here today is a process of silk painting and nuno felting. Silk painting, I take all these fibers and fabrics, all based on silk, and paint and dye them. The painting process, I take a white piece of silk, I wash it, I give it a background color, which might be a pastelish shade, and then I stretch it on a rack on a table, draw my design with a resist, which is a sort of rubber cementy product in a small tube, and then I apply the dye and it'll run up to the line of the resist and stop. And then I will steam that for an hour, which is what sets the dye so it doesn't wash out. Then I'll wash it again and voila. The felting is based on a silk gauze fabric, which is a very loose weave silk. And I will once again cut and dye my base fabric, and then I'll dye all my fibers that I'm going to felt on there. That would be your merino wool, alpaca, mohair, raw silk. There's all sorts of fibers you can use, but all natural. And I'll dye all those individually, then I'll lay them out on my silk in a pattern, wet it down with soapy water, do a long pounding process, and end up with interlocked, the fibers will interlock on the silk and give you this surface, felted surface. It's an irreversible process.
Do a lot of steampunk work and destroy watches and find some antique pieces to put together, and I'll be out at an antique mall, find some cool stuff, going, oh hey, this will make some great earrings, and after work, back on the bench, see what else I can come up with. Oh, this has been a great show. It's a beautiful area, absolutely gorgeous landscape out here. It makes it really comfortable and soft and nice and shadowy. The staff has been great with bringing water around for the artists, and we have our maps in advance so we know where things are and what to do, and sometimes you get thrown into a show and you're completely blind. So it's just been real accommodating. It's really nice.
And I are artists here, and we've both done it off and on for probably 20 years, 25 maybe. She teaches a class here at Rosewood, and I'm her assistant, her chief assistant, and so we enjoy the Rosewood community, and so we want to always be sure we're here at this show. We try to create original pieces My specialty is lost wax casting, whereas her specialty is a more silver jewelry with flowing lines and kind of a romantic theme. My pieces are probably a little more architectural or maybe even masculine in that regard, but still I intend them mostly for women. We try to use unusual stones in our work to set off the design. And this was one of Sandra's pieces, and but this is mostly, the work here is done mostly with a hammer. It's copper, and it's 22 gauge copper, and it's folded over, and the little fold pinched tight, and then unfolded, and then where you see the little dots in here, that's done with a ball end of a little chisel, and so then it's the ruffles on the edge again are done with a hammer. And that's really, in the jewelry world, one of the amazing things of what you can do with a hammer. You can create just many unusual forms. This piece right here, if you can slide over to that, was done with a hammer. And it's hard to believe that could have been done with a hammer. It's hollow, and so that forming to create that hollow shape was done with a hammer.
I can use context, I can use unusual approaches that let people almost rediscover the magic that's always been theirs. So it has to come from within my subject. It's nothing I can do from the outside, but if they're willing to express, I can articulate that in a way that, well, ideally is transcendent. It goes beyond words, it goes beyond knowing. There's billions to be made in cosmetics and fashion and every other thing that women need to look acceptable. My work is saying, no, that's not right. This is magic, this is core, this is where we came from. The essence is something that should be celebrated.
What I do is I look around a lot and I try and find old things that I can repurpose, or rocks, or anything that I can kind of bring new and incorporate into a window just to make it different, because everyone's seen stained glass for hundreds of years. I just try to bring a little more creativity to it and just change it up a little bit. I love the venue, and I think it brings a diverse crowd and people that really enjoy art. And it's nice to see that the community comes out to support this.